setups. Prep table is not square at all. There we go. That's apparently where the prep table needs to be. Sewing machine looks good. Ironing board looks okay-ish. I think I need to fix the camera for the ironing board. Nope. We're having fun, right? That's my monitor. Okay. That's good. Good on the right, good on the left. Let's call that good. That's an ironing board. Sewing machine looks okay. Prep table isn't where I have it for the other one, but that's okay, and all of my details are wrong. Hello, most wonderful husband. Can you not, please? Thank you. Oh, that one can stay. And I guess this one can stay, right? Yeah. Except it's weirdly placed, but sure. Oh, and it's locked. That's what my problem is. Okay. That's better. Alright, now I can actually sew. Thanks for joining me. And I knew I would forget my clips back here. Alright. So I am in the middle of finishing off a bag for a sew along, which is the Bellflower by Calla. I love her patterns. They're absolutely fantastic. Oh, you're missing music. How can I let that happen? Let's see. It would help if I had my speakers on, wouldn't it? Oh, and pressing play would help too. There it is. Okay. Alright, we're jamming well. Do, 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 do. Okay. I can jam with this. Alright, let's get this work done. So this is a little test pattern. I'm working on doing a luggage tag. Just a quick little luggage tag out of Craft Tex. And this will go on top of that. And I'll leave this part open, put the snap there for a handle. But I need to do some stitching and some other work. This is sitting out because I have to finish it with the quilt. These don't even belong here. And I think I'm good. Let's put those away. Dun, 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 dun. And I am addicted to a really stupid game, so every once in a while the alarm will go off, and I will play my game. I will desperately try not to fall over the things that are sitting around in my studio. And I have a whole bunch of other Craft Tex pieces sitting over here on my pressing. Okay. Oh, now I remember the other thing that I've completely forgotten up on my screens. The pattern. It'd be good to have the pattern up, just, kind of helpful. At least I have drink. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. I need... there we go. And that is loud. We have my desktop audio off, so you can't even hear it, but you hear it through my mic. That's better. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. So we are on $39, or at least that's where I am. Boom, boom. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. See, I'm addicted to this game. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Zipper pocket open completely. Check. Insert exterior shell into lining shell. Right sides together. This is always a fun part, because the lining is always set up to be a little bit smaller than my exterior. Feel free to tell me if anything is out of balance sound-wise. Perfect. Point the flap and straps down towards the bottom of the bag. Okay. I suspect this has to go back that way. I wonder if I put the flap and the straps already coming out of the pocket, if that will help later. Like when I'm turning the bag and berthing it through this pocket, if I already have some things coming out of it, it should make life easier, right? I mean, logically, that's how that goes. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Let's give that a shot. See how that works. Okay. Reach in through there. Okay, let's look at this picture and make sure we understand what's going on. Right. Okay. My back hurts today. Let's see if I can change something here. Oh, that's better. Oh, I like that much better. There we go. Excuse me. Pinball shells together along the top edge, sew together. turn top stitch. Got it. I always try and find the clips that have like a really strong hold to them to do the corners. To like clip that spot in place. Well, the front looks pretty smooth. That's nice. I'm really looking forward to. So the sew along that I'm doing in Barb's Bags Got Interfacing Facebook group is this bag, but we only just finished cutting out the pattern. I always try and do two of the same pattern so that excuse me, so that one I sew along with everyone else and one I do ahead of time so I don't look like a complete dweeb when I'm doing the sew along. So I actually know what I'm doing. Okay, stuffing everything through the zippers makes it a little harder to sew, but I suspect it's going to make it a lot easier to birth. Just lining up the layers is a little more messy. There we go. So this is the one that I'm doing ahead of the other bag that we're doing during the sew along, where we're actually teaching you how to do the pattern. Of course, you have to buy the pattern separately. To buy your own pattern if you want to know how to do it. But if I don't do one ahead of time, I look like a complete idiot because I don't quite know what I'm doing because I'm figuring it out along with everyone else instead of kind of teaching. And that's less than helpful. Okay. I have a test that I have to do with this. So this is not my regular sewing machine. This is my sewing machine that I take to classes with me. Looks like we sew this just fine. Okay. I had to test that because that's the fabric that I'm using for the sew along. I wanted to make sure my machine could actually handle it. Okay, so I usually try and start at the back so that my stitches over stitches show up back there. Give me one sec. That's pretty bright right there, isn't it? Let's see if we can balance that light out a little bit. Much better. trying to get a clip to lay flat under the sewing machine. There we go. Because I want the whole piece to be able to go under the sewing machine without any problems. The nice thing is you can always go around it again, like a second time. Ideally trying not to puncture the vinyl a second time. But if you're cotton on cotton, you can always go around that area a second time if you got the wrong seam allowance or something. Or if you feel a particular area just doesn't have the right hold, resistance. Plus remember that it will be top stitched as well. And I know it's kind of an awkward angle to get, but that's how doing bags is when you're doing the top seam. This also helps me learn how this machine handles a bag. I see what the problem is. It's that stuff I stuffed in the back. It doesn't want to go under the machine. Okay. And if I can't get it to go under the machine, I have to pull it out. It's better for you to see what's going on anyway. I really do need to watch like Lauren's or Garth's videos to see what they show and how they show it. Learn how to do this sew along stuff better. I actually think I did a pretty good job of keeping the seam allowance solid all the way around. Except right here. Yeah, I don't think I had any problems. I'm gonna be good with that stitching around there. Alright, let's birth the bag. Okay, so here's the flap and the handles that I pulled through. So let's see if that makes it any easier. If I already have the flap and the handles kind of started, can I pull the rest of the bag through a little easier? Oh yeah, and I did it in Scooby-Doo fabric, by the way. Because, you know, why not? Nice. That actually did help me a great deal. Okay, so the bag is turned, and I'm going to put the lining back inside the bag so I can do the top stitching. And I'm also going to shut the zipper panel. Actually, I should shut the zipper panel before I go turning the bag, 'cause it's just going to be a lot easier. So the way that this one was done, we folded over 1/2 inch so that we would have a nice, easy way to stitch this in. But we have these two little, like, loose corners, and I always push those down a little bit. Just so that they don't show on the inside of the pocket. It's just one of those tiny details that most people wouldn't notice, but that one customer who is paying attention will notice. Alright, let's go stitch this down. I'll put this back on because it's just a little bit easier to sew with a bit of a table. It's a cute little bag. There we go. That was easy. One step at a time, all right? Okay. Push this pocket in. And I always try and push the corners down really solid. Because that's where people are going to lose their things. So I always push those down really well. And I'm going to actually zip this up so that I can have a solid lining all the way around. And I have a little bit of a fabric tuck right there. I'm going to see if I can, yeah, when I do the top stitching, that'll mostly come out. I think if I get more moisture on my fingers, excuse me, I might be able to not have to iron this. Looks like my corners lined up well. Because I am still working on a domestic, I am going to take a hammer to my corners just to flatten them out a bit and make sure I'll be able to sew them down. I'm kind of wishing I had a little bit more stabilization on this top piece, just because there's so much weight hanging off the back of it, both the flap and the handle part. And I think that might get resolved when I put the little top handles on. I told you I was addicted to this game. So what I'm doing is I'm rolling the seam between my fingers to make sure I can get that place where everything was stitched all the way to the top, or at least as close as possible. Yeah, the pucker isn't great, but no one's going to notice it besides me. All right. I'm also going to push out my lining to see if I can keep that seam out nice and easy. I'm also checking all of my seams to make sure they came out okay, which I probably should have done before I stitched up my zipper, but I've had to undo it before. I'll have to undo it again someday because I'll forget. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is hammer these 4 corners down. And I mean hammer in the literal sense. So I'm going to take a sec and alter my game. Excuse me. Clearly I need something else to drink. Okay. 8 minutes. And my phone doesn't care what else is going on. Come on now. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to mute myself because it's going to be a lot of noise. So yeah, I really did mean I'm going to take a hammer to them. That's better. Okay. This is almost the end. I'm excited to get this baby done. Again, I'm going to start somewhere in the back. And I'm going to take my little quote-unquote table off. Because wherever I start in the back is going to have stitches that overlay on other stitches. And usually they're fine. There we go. But again, it's one of those tiny little things that you notice. Or at least I notice. And I have the wrong stitch length. There we go. This machine is a little, like I said, basic. So I always try and make sure that it has everything it needs to pull things forward. Just because I don't want it to shorten the stitch length because it can't pull the fabric forward. Because it will. And that's just knowing your machine. And when I start on the Belle, I should go post to a friend of mine and let her know that I'm working on her bag on YouTube. And I'm about to go over the vinyl on the top, and I probably should have kept it towards the feed dogs because the vinyl does not get along with this sewing machine foot at all. I probably should have put tape. So one of the tricks you can use is to put Scotch tape on the bottom of your pressure foot to make it kind of like a silicone foot. I mean, it's the economical is the way I'm going to say it, but it's the cheater way of doing it, which is great. And I completely forgot about that, so I'm going to try and remember to mention that during the sew along. That's the other thing. Yeah, I know. That's the other thing. No, you are fine. You are just fine. That's the other thing that I need to, that's why I do this, so the pre-sew along bag. So that I can know all these things ahead of time. See, it goes so much smoother when it's cotton on cotton. So my regular sewing machine is in the shop. The bobbin case is stuck. And I totally messed it up. And I need to call them today and see if it's ready. Because they asked me to call. Maybe we'll call in a minute. We'll call between bags. There we go. And it's bothering the high heaven out of me. That I cannot keep my stitches regular over the vinyl, and I'm gonna notice, and it's gonna bother me, and I'm gonna feel bad about selling this bag. I mean, a little bad. Yeah, you're throwing a hissy fit, I know. You're fine, I promise. See? You're fine, you stitched right through that spot after you told me you couldn't. There we go. And back stitching and wondering where my clips are. There they are. Yeah, those stitches are totally regular over the vinyl. Sigh. Well, they aren't bad. They're just not preferable. I will live with them. Bum, 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 bum. They hold everything in place. I toppled over my trash can. There we go. All right. Oops. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. Okay. Stitching is not bad. I will accept this stitching. Okay, what is next? Flap handles. Okay, so how she did flap handles is not how I can do my flap handles. But it is the last thing we do. So, this goes over like this. It closes there. So flap handles are the things that come off of here, off the top of the bag, so you can just carry the bag like this. Let me see where my flap handle pattern pieces are. Oh look, conveniently labeled flap handle, but there's only one. And I think I only cut one of the other one. Oh, we might cut them in half. Let me look. 15 by 1 inch is our finished. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun. Okay, so this is 15 long. Okay, so the way that I do my handles is a little different. Unfortunately, because I do have a base sewing machine, I can't do the really cool thing. So I'm gonna cut this in half and cut a fabric piece. It's the same size, and we will have 2 handles. Do we need 2 handles? I'm thinking here. Isn't it just one? It's just one. It's just one. I don't need 2. I just need 1. So I had a dirt moment, and I need a little piece of fabric. Are you long enough? Not quite. Neither are you. I think I'm going to split this one since it's already interfaced and I don't have to do anything else with it. So I'm going to put these guys together and they will become the other side of this. So let's finish off this handle first. So this is 2 inches wide. We want to end up with a piece that is 1 inch wide. So we're going to do just under 1/2 inch seam allowance. So this is not part of the pattern. This is me not having an industrial machine. That actually is 1/2 inch. Okay. And I'm not going to do that stitch length. There we go. So what we're going to do is make a handle that has vinyl on one side and fabric on the other. And I'm trying to make sure that the seam allowance for the tiny little seam that we put in the middle opens up. And I left so little fabric right there for it to play with that it was hard to do. So I got a little wonky with my seam allowance there, so I'm going to have to go back and fix that. So I'm kind of just testing where my seam allowance was. And that's, yeah, right where I was trying to move things. There we go. Okay, that's more regular. All right, let's go over the ironing board, and I'll show you how to make this work. Okay. So what I'm basically doing is making a 1-inch handle that is vinyl on one side and fabric on the other. So I'm going to make sure that that seam is solid, and it's very hot. I'm just using this guy as a weight. And I'm going to open this seam all the way across. And that was totally my fault. I cut the seam allowance really, really short. And I'm ironing on the fabric side. Like, this is the fabric, this is the vinyl. Because I want to try and not iron directly on the vinyl, because the vinyl's going to throw a hissy fit about it. And where is my... So you want to put something on it to kind of weigh it down so that you encourage that seam to lay flat. Excuse me. And then I'm going to go grab some double-sided tape. Okay, so that seam is kind of flat. This double-sided tape will help it a great deal. So what we're going to end up doing is part of this double-sided tape will, it's easier if I put a line down the middle, part of the double-sided tape will hold down this seam, and part of it will hold down this side when we flip it up. Do not cut double-sided tape with your fabric scissors. This is my paper scissors. And it gets sticky after a while, and it's really annoying. Okay. And I'll pull off the other side if I can get it to start. There we go. So first, where I can, because I didn't put it down the middle, because I didn't put a line there, I will fold that down, and I will get a little annoyed. And use more double-sided tape because I'm a dork. Sticky. All right, that was fun. How about not? Ow. All right, here we go. Much better. So this seam gets stuck down, and the idea is that this side will fold up to the seam allowance, making the difference between the seam allowance and this fold an inch. The reason we stitched just under a 1/2 inch seam allowance is to make up for the thickness of the vinyl and the thickness of the fold, because we don't actually want a 1-inch strap. We want just a little bit under a 1-inch strap. And where's my highlighter? Okay, where'd my highlighter go? So I have a pink highlighter, and there's a pink one, and I have an orange highlighter, and I have them for a reason. And this reason is right here. So when you fold this over, you kind of get like bubbles from where you folded. Just because you'll fold and you'll press in one spot, like where your fingers go. And pressing it out, you know, there are rollers that get sold specifically for this, like Mythic Leather. Garth has specific rollers for that. I just use a highlighter because I don't use it often enough to buy a specific tool for that. Okay, so the next step is we're going to fold this this way. And we're going to encourage that fold to be as tight as possible. And I have encouragement clips right here. We will eventually stitch on this edge. But not yet. Okay. So now I want to make sure that the other side, this side, folds in nicely and right up against that edge. Now we're not doing a tube because there's no way in the world we'd be able to turn that tube inside out. So what we're going to do is we're going to stitch right along this edge and right along this edge to make the strap finished. To finish out the strap, whatever you want to call it. Okay. And the idea is not to let this fabric wiggle, which doesn't help. So first we're going to stitch along the edge that is open, and then to make everything match, we'll stitch along the edge that we originally stitched on. Okay? So we're going to stitch that edge and then this edge. I messed my sewing machine. But we are almost done with this, so I will be able to find out if my sewing machine exists. So I'm going to remind myself that the vinyl up doesn't work well for this sewing machine. And I'm also going to remind myself to change my stitch length and maybe encourage the fabric to move a little bit. And then I'm going to realize that there's a little bit of a puckering right there. And that I should probably fold that fabric in a little bit. And this is where you can determine how straight this fold is. And yes, I am making minute adjustments as I go. And I will backstitch just a tiny bit at the back end. There we go. So that's one side. And the main purpose of pinning this side was to force that fold to be flat. So we really don't need the pins on that side at this point, but I'm going to leave them. And since, come on now. all of the straps on this bag have a decorative stitching in the middle. I'm going to have to do those too. Okay, there, nice and pretty. I got a little bit off right there, but not anything that anyone would notice besides me. So, I'm not going to worry about back stitching. Well, yeah, I should, because the edge is a little bit raw. Decorative line 1. All these stupid extra threads that I will get rid of in a minute. I didn't bother getting rid of them yet because there'll be one more set. There we go. Okay. Let's go put this together. So the fun thing is, I don't have the nifty little circle pieces that go on the top here that were set up with this bag. I couldn't find them online to save my life, so I decided to go quote-unquote au natural. Most people won't be able to find them or don't have them. So I don't really feel bad about not having them for the sew along or for my prep bag. I mean, my prep bag can look like whatever I want it to because it's my bag, and that's the fun thing about sewing. I do sell my bags online, which I need to get a ton more pictures of or they'll never sell. And at a farmer's market in the local area. And I'm going to trim off this edge because I'm showing a little bit of interfacing and I don't like that. It's a little better. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat. So there's supposed to be an inch here. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to pull that off. I might just bury the bottom as if it belonged at the bottom there. Yeah, I think that's all I got. Oh, wait, I could do it here. Nah, then I'd want to bring it all the way down to here. And that would be not a very big handle. Maybe I could do this way. But the gray and the white would not work. I accidentally did gray on the bottom here. So you can kind of tell that you can't really see the white lines here and you can see the white lines here. This is gray thread, this is white thread. So I can't really get away with that. I think I might just butt this up against the very bottom there. And then put rivets in it instead of stitching it down. There we go, come on now. Oh, I know. I can try stitching it down. So I kind of want to make this, so this piece right here is this white top stitching right there. If I butt this strap up against the bottom, there's no white top stitching. So I could redo or do again, like just do a line of top stitching right across that strap. How far in was this baby supposed to be? I think it was an inch. So it would be right there. Let's see how this looks. And this is a design thing that I chose to do because I couldn't get, there's a neat little way to attach these top straps that I don't have access to the hardware. So, how do I put the handle back up here? Let me get rid of some threads. about blowing in your ears. Or you're welcome, depending. Okay, this one needs to come down a tiny bit because it wasn't butted right up against the bottom. I think I'll try and see if I can get away with stitching. I'm going to put some tape along the bottom of my pressure foot and we'll see how that works. Give it a try. So I've heard that if you put a little bit of Scotch tape along the bottom of your pressure foot, that it's supposed to work better when dealing with these things. Now, this machine is not heavy duty or sturdy or anything along those lines, so we will see how it goes. So I'm going to take my top thread and pull it back up to the top so that this thread won't interfere with me putting the tape on. There we go. Should be interesting. Obviously, I don't want the feed dogs to eat the tape. I am going to flatten everything out that I possibly can. Move things around a little bit. There we go. I was just trying to make sure that this part was flat, or as flat as possible. So I'm moving like the flaps out of the way and the other handles, the straps out of the way. And we shall see. So I'm already having a hard time getting the thickness of the fabric under my pressure foot. So let's see if we can go the other way. Yeah, it's really not liking this thickness at all. Maybe we can go around. This is going to be horrible. Okay. Almost. There we go. That was fun. Okay, so my stitch length is at 3.5. I think I'm going to bounce it down to 3. Let me see if I can back up one and stitch forward. Wow, it's working pretty well. Okay, that worked. This is obviously not the only thing that I'm going to put the strap on with. It's more of a detail stitching thing. I just kind of wanted to keep that line of stitching intact. But I wanted a sane place for this strap to look like it came from. I can't believe this worked. That's awesome. I mean, mechanically, it should have worked. Yep, worked just fine. All right. We'll see. Well, I got a lot of icky threads hanging out in the back, but those are easy enough to clean up. All Alright, let's clean up the threads in the front. So now I have a nice line of top stitching that looks like it was there from the beginning. And makes it look like this strap belongs there. I'm also going to put maybe 2 vertical rivets right there so that they actually stay, so you can actually pick up the bag with stuff in it. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, that I had a whole bunch of icky, gross threads clumped up in the back. So this one looks great. This one had issues. So I'm going to see what I can clip and what I can't clip. And we'll probably put some fray check on this just in case. Because it looks like not all of the stitches went through well, as far as the front and the back. And that's what all of this gunk is. Some of them behaved, so if we put some fray check on it, it'll more than likely just stay as far as the front stitches. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like all the front stitches miss. Yep, it's completely loose. Okay, so we're gonna see if we can do this one again, because that's not working at all. And I don't know if it was just the machine throwing a hissy fit after doing the first set, or something happened between pulling it one way to the other. So we will reposition and retry. Okay. So it's an inch in. Make sure and push it all the way down. Maybe with the holes already there, it'll be easier. Yeah. I like this station off of Pretzel. It's pretty like chill and relaxed and having a good time. Just like, I'm a little electronic, I'm a little chill, let's just have some fun. I like this station. Awesome. Alright, let's go stitch this guy down. Everything out of the way. Maybe that was the problem. Maybe something was in the way at the time. So I'm going to tuck this in. And then that flat panel is going to get folded down. So I'm going to actually fold down this orange panel, like this panel. This orange panel right here, I'm going to fold it down so that I have a little bit more clearance. Okay. Let's feed this under there. So there's nothing but these sets of fabric. Position and stitch. All right. That was all with the pressure foot up, so I'm betting that that's all loops, and that didn't work. Maybe that's what I did last time. Yep, all loops. Okay, hold on. Maybe I didn't put my pressure foot down. So the problem is that this is such thick fabric that I forget to put my pressure foot down because I think that it's already down. So maybe that's what I did last time too. Oh, there's gonna be so many holes in this spot. So I'm just kind of picking these threads out really quick. And with any luck, they'll actually go in the trash can. There we go. Because my cat eats thread, so that's helpful. I mean, I'm all for her getting more fiber in her diet, but thread is probably not the direction we want to go with that particular dietary supplement. Irascible fur ball. Okay, how do we look back here? A couple more to pull out. There we go. All right. Pressure foot down, Chris, or it's not going to work. All the straps out of the way. Pressure foot down, pressure foot down. See if I remind myself, it might actually work, and I might actually do it. Pressure foot down in just a sec. So I kind of push it onto the strap and then pull it back off a little bit, just in case something is folded weird. Pressure foot down. And I line it up with the stitches that are coming out the other side. Pressure foot up. And haha, that one worked. So I probably just messed up my pressure foot both times. So that's fun. All right. Clip my threads. On both sides. That looks good. I like how that turned out. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, just to finish this guy off and actually have some stabilization of this, is I'm going to put 2 rivets. Wait, how high is this guy? Oh, just over an inch. Inch and a quarter. Perfect. So I'm going to put 2 rivets in this to hold it down. Now all I have to do is decide where they're going to go. Ba-da-dum. I love when that happens. Everything breaks today. It's just great. To be fair, this pencil has not been doing all that great. Colonial Tailor's Chalk number 242. Don't get it. Lowly recommended. There we go. Okay. That goes back over here. So, I hate doing things into 3s. My brain just does not do 3s very well. And I'm also going to put a clip in this because my strap keeps wanting to tilt down towards the middle because it's only anchored at that very bottom point. So, I'm going to pull it and just remind it exactly where it should be, just in case. Because it is struggling. There we go. That's better. Okay, so dividing an inch into 3s isn't too hard. I mean, it's a third, a third, a third. So what we actually are doing is dividing the negative space between the 2 places. And I always have a hard time doing the math. And this does not mark on these. I should just punch the dang hole. I should just punch the hole. Why am I sitting here doing it the hard way? This is my rivet setup. And apparently I am defacing Cadillacs. Sorry guys. It's not like anybody with a Cadillac. Well, I don't have a Cadillac, that's for sure. Okay, so this isn't really thick, so I think I'm actually going to do it with my rivets. The other option is I have some Chicago screws, but that's more for stuff that's really thick. And I don't really have anything that's really thick. So I need 4 setups. And they come in 2 pieces. There's basically an innie and an outie. There's 2 sets. I need 2 more innies. There's one. If it's the right color. Nope. I should make sure that all of these are the right color. Silver, silver. Silver, silver. Just checking. Silver. Come back here, please. Thank you. And silver. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. So I have these really neat rivets that are like rhinestones on one side, but the other side is not a cap. It's kind of like a hole. So I need to do those on one-sided stuffs. And I wouldn't put them on this anyway because this is Scooby and he does not need rhinestones. He's perfectly fine. Thank you. And I have 2 kits to make these. One is very, very sharp and one is going dull. And I'm using the dull ones until they die. Okay. And usually I make the holes in the wrong spot, so don't be surprised if that happens. Hammer. Getting hammer would be good. So I pound until I get till I see the magazine on the other side. So I'm going 1/3 of an inch from each. Actually, I should have done 1/4 of an inch. Okay, we'll do the edge on 1/4 of an inch. That should make it at least look even. So I always forget that, okay, so we were dividing this piece by 4, or by 3. So that there would be 1/3 of a strap on either side of the hole. And that was the point. And then I forget that the rivet itself takes up space. So I really just want to measure from one edge or the other a certain amount in to the edge of the hole for the rivet. What are you doing? Why are you struggling? Okay, the 2 of you do not want to get together. That's fine. We will pair you up with somebody else. Okay. You're misbehaving. Ba-da-dum. What is wrong here? There we go. Okay. And we will hammer these down better in just a minute. I want to make the holes for this guy. Ba-da-dum. So I'm going to measure 1/4 of an inch up from the bottom and 1/4 of an inch in from the top to be the edge of the hole for this guy. And of course, centered between the stitches. Just because that might get them close to looking even on this strap and this strap. And unfortunately, I have to do the pounding all the way over here. Because that is where the stable part of my table is. Because the rest of my table is tiles. cutter is having a little bit of trouble because it is a bit dull, so I need to sharpen it, and I also need to empty it. So what I'm doing here is taking my seam ripper and kind of just working out the pieces that have been cut out of the awl, or the hole, or whatever you want to call it. Ba-da-da-dum. That one got a little loud. So most of the way through right here. And now I bet you... nope. There we go. That works. And my label. Ba-da-da-dum. There we go. The two male sides that I just dropped. Thankfully it went into another one of my bags. It's a little bit off, but I doubt anyone would notice besides me. It's pretty off on the back. It's too bad. We'll see if that one works. So I need to actually, these are only just kind of like slightly pushed in. I need to finish hammering them in with this. Ba-da-da-dum. So this little piece it's kind of has a divot in the middle of it that will hold one side, and this has a divot on the other side, and this will hold the other side, and I just basically pound the two together. These guys can get out of the way now. And I try to keep it towards the corner because that's where the support for the table is. So unfortunately you can't see it. I'm gonna mute my mic for a little while because this is gonna be loud. Okay, so this bottom one was the one that I was worried about that had the like kind of wonky, I don't remember if it was this one or this one, had the kind of wonky setup, but it looks like everything went through just fine. So these are a little bit off. These are really beautiful and straight. These kind of angle that way. But again, I doubt anyone besides me would really notice. And if they did, they just might think it lends some authenticity to the bag, that it was actually made by, you know, somebody's hands instead of a machine. Okay, this baby's done. I got a little fray check I want to add to the straps. along that top line of stitching, just in case. And I know this vinyl doesn't like fray check. It ends up kind of flaking off. So a little bit later I will go back and make sure I flake all that stuff out. I'm actually kind of also touching up the back stitching that we did on the strap itself so that everything stays where it belongs. And this is just a precaution. Probably don't need to do it, but my OCD says I do. Nice. Okay. So let's put everybody back where they belong. And she's ready for pictures. Looks pretty darn awesome. Looks good. I want to adjust this strap a little bit so it's even with the other one. And now it's not even with the other one. Okay, halfway between what I did and where I am now. There we go. Work out the seams a little bit just to make it look like a regular bag instead of something that just got finished. Looks good. Looks pretty darn awesome. I'll have to take pictures and post online soon. Kind of brag about what we got done. Okay, now I'm gonna clean up and put things away. Because I will be doing silicone coating of the fabric pieces that we'll be using for my friend's diaper bag. I'm gonna actually get everything off of the tables, including my game. Thankfully, there is safe spaces for all of these cups to go up here. I won't need pins for a while. There we go. I'm actually going to... There we go. Oh. Didn't realize this was over here. It's probably the wrong dimensions too, but I'll have to check into that later. This is the side that I used for silicone. I can tell because I have icky marks all over it. Okay, let's bring all of these fabric pattern pieces over and figure out who's going where. And if I have everything cut out. And I also need to reorganize my sew along setup. My cat just woke up because I put things down near her. She's like, "What, huh? Why are you bothering me?" So this is part of the sew along. And this is one of the last pieces we use. I know that off the top of my head. I know we do the straps pretty early. Okay. pockets are up there. I really decimated this fabric. I used it in so many different ways. Wait, you fold this way and that way. Okay, I don't care how you fold anymore. You're folding like this now. So I'm pretty sure I'll be okay just putting this away. And I know I keep meaning to put a pin around that. Yes, yes, I will be with you shortly. Stupid alarm for an amazing game that I enjoy. Bum, dum, 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 dum. So I'm putting a pin where that that stain is, so that when I go to cut something else out of this, I will see it and I'll either work around it or incorporate it into like the seam allowance or something. There we go. Okay, you guys are all put away. Or at least piled into one spot, so I can move you over. Alright. Okay, I won't need you anytime soon. Side pockets are gonna have to get silicone. Side panels will not. Bottom panel needs... Oh, I think I need to cut out the vinyl for this. Main panels will not. Top panels will not. Lining pocket panels will not. Main pocket will. So it's basically these pieces that will get silicone all over them, but I don't think I have everything cut out. Do the game thing in 13 minutes. Okay. And we'll move the elastic out of the way. I think I'll put all the elastic in my pocket so I take it downstairs with me. Put the scissors away. Okay. I need to figure out if I have everything. Okay, do I have all of you? 1, 2, 3, 4. So yes. Do I like this against that? I kind of do. Oh. And I need to pull up the pattern to make sure something that doesn't have a pattern piece is required. We are on to the Belle diaper bag by Swoon. Okay. And since I don't have links to it, we'll kill those. There we go. Bum, bum, bum. Oh yes, additionally measure this, 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 and this. Okay. Print pattern piece, add this. Let's go get hardware. Because I have a tendency to forget that there's hardware involved in some pieces. So we need stuff. Okay. What have we got? Zippers I'll pick out as we go. Ooh, I should use the rainbow zippers for this. She'll love it. I wonder if I have white rainbows. I do have white rainbow zippers. Oh, she's gonna die. And I need a zipper pull. Oh, I have Mickey zipper pulls. I have rainbow Mickey zipper pulls. When did I get those? Oh, they don't really apply in this particular situation. There's a zipper pull. Okay, I have zipper. 2 1-inch D-rings. 4 1-inch rectangle rings. Okay. Two 1-inch D-rings. 2 1-inch D-rings. Why do I not have a ruler back here? I think I do. There it is. Oh, I have a couple. Those are not 1-inch. Neither are you. Lovely. I think I can get away with D-rings that are smaller than 1 inch because I know where they are, or where they get involved. D-rings. 4 1-inch rectangle rings. Those I can't scrimp on. I have everything but 1 inch. Ah, bad microphone. Ooh, I could do circle rings. These are neat. These will be one of my 1-inch D-rings. I found 1-inch D-rings, but they're kind of like heavier than most. Which is why they were in a different spot. And my mic is hitting things. Okay. 2 1-inch D-rings. 4 1-inch rectangle rings. Four 1-inch rectangle rings. I just don't have the hardware, that's the fun part. I know where these are. I can make my strap wider if I wanted. I could do the 1 1/4. So I really need to make sure I consult my hardware before I cut out my straps. 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. Okay. Two 1.5-inch swivel slides, swivel clips. 1.5-inch swivel clips. Swivel clips. Let's see if I can get rounded ones. No, you're gunmetal. I'm running out of swivel clips. Well, there's some D-rings. Why are you guys not where you belong? There. Okay, swivel clips. 2 1.5 inch swivel clips. 1 1.5 inch strap slide. One 1.5 inch strap slide. I know I have those. I need to get swivel clips. Those things are flippin' expensive. Strap slides, please. I actually need 1.25, and why do I not have these labeled? I have bags of them. I don't know, 1 inch. I actually want 1.25. Hey, 1.25. Excuse me. No, I want 1.5. Damn it. There's a 1.5 inch strap slide. There's things hitting the floor. And then the 2 swivel clips for the stroller. Those I do want, because those are awesome. We'll see how that goes. And then some of these. One, two, three, four. Piping, fabric glue, thread. All right. Hardware acquired. That was fun. Excuse me. Okay. I will worry about piping later. I'm not sure I'm going to do piping on this one because it would just get dirty. And I'd wanted a light color. Excuse me. So it's just going to get dirty. So I'll probably skip the piping. I don't like the piping anyway. It does help pull the corners out, but let's go back and look at the picture. It does define the corners nicely and help hold them out. Maybe. We'll see. Because I want to do them yellow, because her thing is yellow. We'll see. Let me go see if I have any 2 yards pre-made piping. I have a whole bunch of stuff in one of these. I do have yellow, but it's bright. Sort of have yellow, rather. Certainly can't use gold. That would end badly. Don't mind me. See, this right next to that kind of, I don't know. And this would just darken it a little and make it dirty. I do have white piping over there, so I could make it whiter. That'll make it a little better. Let me put this back. Since I finally figured out what drawer, I think, they all go in. Oh, Kitty's awake. Okay. Let's check the stuff here first. I don't like this yellow. If anything, I'll use that pastel yellow. Just kind of hurts my soul a little bit. White wouldn't go amiss, but again. Ooh, I should. Maybe I'll do it in this, because this is all on the inside. No, this is the main panel. Maybe I will. No, because it goes right along the outside of that. Okay, let's check and make sure we have everything cut out first before I start worrying about that. And we're gonna call the place to see if my sewing machine is done. 2 exterior, 6 lining. 2 exterior. 6 lining. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those go on the inside of the bag. Next to this. 5, 6. Maybe I'll make 2 of those go here and 2 of those go there. Anyway, I have everything I need for this guy. So this guy's good. I'm going to put you on the ironing board and tell you you're okay. 2 exterior, 2 lining. 2 exterior. And 2 lining. We're good. And they're all interfaced, so that's good too. 4 lining, 4 interfacing. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're good. Top panel, 2 exterior, 2 lining, 4 interfacing, 2 foam. 3, 4. So I need the foam for this. So you're gonna stay out. But I need the foam for this too. I did these because that was the paper piece. 2 exterior, 2 lining, 2 foam, 4 interfacing. 2 exterior, 2 lining. So you still need foam. Bottom panel, 1 exterior, 1 lining. So this is actually the lining piece. I'm going to have to do the bottom in a vinyl. Side panel, 2 exterior, 2 lining, 2 foam. 2 exterior, 2 lining. I still need the foam. Bottom support, 1 stabilizer. Awesome. So this one's done. So, 4 pieces are done. That's good. I'm not surprised the foam pieces aren't done yet. We also need handles, handle connectors, adjustable straps, strap connectors, pocket binding, and the stroller clips, which I am doing because she's getting the full kit. Because she's awesome. I really like her. She has class. It's really neat. You don't run into somebody who consistently has class out in the real world a lot anymore. So I'm going to pull down my foam, or pull out my foam rather. I can get it over here. Come on now. Without killing myself. Let's do the foam so we can get that part out of the way. And then we will worry about the vinyl pieces. Okay, so this is actually headliner material that goes on the top of your car. And I don't have very much left. I have plenty for this bag. Sorry, I just need to remind myself to go get some more. So top panel, 2 foam at the line. So I'm going to cut the foam at the top line. So I am going to leave, excuse me, this intact. I'm just going to remind myself it goes up here. And now I need a pen. So that goes up here. There we go. And I want to be careful because this is going to be up against a yellow, so it's a very light color, and I'm going to figure out why my pen isn't working. There we go. Seriously? We're just working, thank you. So I'm going to make a little line there where the fold is. And I'll kind of continue that line with this pattern piece so I know how to set it up there. That's about right. There's one. So I'll use the top of the pattern piece to draw the straight line and identify where the fold point is. And keep everything straight. And again, we'll use the pattern piece to continue that line, just as we will use this pattern piece to continue this line. So it kind of tells you where to go next. And I will, since I know this is a straight line and about where it stops, I'm going to keep drawing it until I get past where I believe it stops. Line up the centers, and I'm doing this backwards. Line up centers. Okay, I know that line is there. Check this one. It's right there. There. 2 foam, right? 2 foam. So the reason I use headliner material is it is a lot less expensive than the fusible foam. Even when you take into account the need to get a adhesive, it's still a lot less expensive. It holds up just about as well. I mean, this stuff is used for the tops of ceilings of cars, so it'll be fine. I am trying to make sure I cut on the inside of the pen line. I'll probably go back and do that one, because I don't want any of that pen to show through on this yellow. Granted, it'll be in the seam allowance, so I doubt anyone will see it, but it's one of those little details that matter and will make your sewing all that much better. So there's one, and yeah, I'm gonna go back through this one. Just a little bit. So as soon as I'm done cutting out this foam, I'm gonna go call about my sewing machine. And then I will be back after probably an hour or two. Kind of need to sit down and chill out for a little bit. And then we will add silicone to the exterior pockets of this bag to make them waterproof, because having water spill all over your diaper bag is less than helpful. And having a diaper bag that's completely waterproof is going to make this woman amazingly happy. And she's so sweet. She's like the sweetest person I've ever worked with. Well, up there anyway. Okay. 2 foam at the line. All done. We'll add that to the done section. And we need 2 foam. And again, this is a very light color, so I'm going to try and avoid having this pen mark in the way. One of the things I do try to do is I try and keep there's a kind of a, I don't know how you call it, a pattern to this fabric, and I'm going to call it fabric for lack of anything else. There's a pattern to it. I really should make these templates, like unfold them. But there's a pattern to it, and it's basically a line telling you directional. And it's really handy because I can line up and keep something fairly regular and even. Now the line wiggles a little bit, but not by a lot. 2 foam. Normally I'd butt them up against each other a little closer, but again, because I'm trying to avoid getting the pen marks on the inside of this bag, I'm going to keep them just a little bit further apart than normal. Alright, and that is for two foams. There we go. There's one. And I am cutting as carefully as I can. And there's 2. So this one's a rock star. Come here, you. All right. The bottom panel needs the vinyl. This needs the foam. 2 foam. Yes. I'm going to leave the main pieces cut over there. There we go. So I re-angled it because of the angle of the fabric, that I wanted to keep it kind of regular. If I'm going to continue to make this bag, I really need to get more. I really need to redo these templates. I think this is the 3rd time I've done this bag. The first one is a test, and the second one was for another coworker's baby bag, and she too was definitely worth the effort. And she announced, the girl that I'm making this bag for announced that she was pregnant, and one of my coworkers teased, what are you making this bag for? Or when are you starting this bag? The bag for her. And she was just joking. I decided to take her seriously and actually make the bag, because this girl is worth my time. And I'm sorry, not everyone is. A lot of people are, though. I'm discovering lately that a lot of people are worth my time. And I'm kind of proud of that, because when I was younger, not a lot of people were worth my time. And that's kind of sad, too. Okay. And I think I might have just left enough space for this to go down here. Perfect. I really need to get some more of this. Maybe when I go to the grocery, I'll go out and about. And get some of this stuff. See this, the bottom of this kind of wiggles right here and then straightens out. I'm actually going to take it a little bit off the bottom. I could have just let the bottom be the bottom cut, but then I wouldn't know where middle was. And I'm OCD like that. I'm also going to make some pacifier clips, so I'll need to cut those out along with everything else. I think I have 4 clips set up for that. I'll have to find out if she still goes into the office, because if she does, I'll just run it up to the office. I am completely home now. I have not been into the office since April. Which is really weird, because before this whole pandemic, I didn't have anybody except for 1, maybe 2 people as one of my Facebook friends. And all of a sudden I have a whole bunch of us are all Facebook friends now. And normally I don't Facebook friends my coworkers because I'm a dork and I'm into sewing, and my entire Facebook feed is about sewing and playing video games and stuff, so I don't really associate my Facebook quote unquote persona or passions with my work coworkers. And so all of a sudden I have all these work coworkers commenting that this bag is really neat and they like my style, and I'm just kind of sitting back going, what? When did I? Oh, right, we're Facebook friends. I forgot. Okay, so I have a tiny bit of foam left over that I will put off to the side. And now I need to find a piece of fabric that I want to use as the bottom of this bag. I'm going to kind of flip through my scraps because it's just the bottom. It's just the bottom. Oh, and I'll do handles with it too. Okay, so handles, handle connector, adjustable strap, strap connectors, pocket binding, and stroller clips. Okay. So the handles and the adjustable strap are going to be the same vinyl as this. The handle connectors. Oh, those are the things that go all the way up the middle. Where is my main panel? Because they'll go They'll be crossing this main panel. This is all how you figure out your layout. I think I want the handle connectors in that yellow. I wonder if I still have any. Oh, I may not be. I don't think I have any more of that light yellow. I don't think this is it. Because this is the piece that, no. The piece that I'm talking about goes up here and basically makes the handle connector the square right there. And the zipper part is right here. Maybe I can do that light blue if I have it. Let me put this yellow back really quick. I have a really light green. Not very useful because she likes yellow. I'm trying. I'm trying, my friend. I am trying. Okay, let me see if I have that light blue. Ah, I have a little bit. I don't know if it's going to be enough. That might be enough. Make this the handle connectors and the strap connectors that are on the sides. I might be able to stretch it and make it the pocket binding too. Let's see. Let's get this ironed out. Okay. So I've kind of diverged from what I was talking about a minute ago. We're going to do handle connectors. Okay. I still need the bottom piece of that. Handle connectors. Good. So handle connectors need to be 21 inches long, and I've got enough there. These strap connectors need to be... That's not going to work. But again, I changed my hardware. Where's my box of hardware? So my handle connectors are going to need... Those are going to be the 4 rectangle rings. Let's put the hardware aside that I don't need. There we go. Okay, so these are going to be the handle connectors. Yeah. Handle connectors are actually 1.25 inches. And they say 1 inch, so they actually need to be wider than I think they are. So if they're 1.25 inches, and I need twice, so 2.5 instead. Okay. So I'm going to square up this fabric. I'm going to cut it off here. See if I can salvage this. I'm not going to have enough to do the binding. I can tell that right now. Straighten off this edge. So they need to be 2.5 inches wide. So I'm laying the 2 straight edges against each other, and I'll square off this side and then cut off the 2.5 inches pieces. So even because I've changed the hardware, I need to change my dimensions of the bag pieces. There we go. Okay, I'll need interfacing for these, but I can clearly make these handle connectors. And I need a post-it. And I put all my post-its away. Handle connectors. Okay. So those work. I need strap connectors, which I can still cut out of this fabric because I have enough. I still need to interface that guy. I can make this piece. But not these. I can make this one of them. Oh, I only need one. Perfect. But wait. My strap connectors go to my D-rings. Do I have the right D-rings? 1-inch D-rings, yes. So this is the fun. See, and somebody said we'd never use math after school. I call baloney. Plus my sewing machine can't handle 6 layers of vinyl, which is how the straps are usually made. So I'm going to have to do fabric on one side and vinyl on the other. And this is going to be the strap connector. And I still need interfacing for that. Okay. So I have those guys. I still need handles, adjustable strap, pocket binding. Oh, I can do this for one side of the stroller clips, at least some of them. Or, I can do one side of the stroller clips for this. That'll fit. Yeah, that'll barely fit. Okay, put stroller clip on this, but I still need another one of that. Let go of me. Fine. And I actually have some of this. I wonder if it's long enough. Nope. Nope, not at all. No. This doesn't look like it can be useful for anything yet, but I'm sure I'll find a use for it. I'll probably do some of my pacifier clips out of this. I'm gonna have to go get that. was it? A D-ring. Just fell off the back of my prep table. Lovely. Always fun. And the cat's just kind of like, what happened? I don't care. And I don't know where it went. I know it hit the floor because I heard the floor part hit. But I don't see it yet. Maybe it's on the other side. I gotta find a way to negate that glare off the ruler. That bothers me a great deal. I don't have another one of those D-rings, so I really do have to find it. There it is. Okay. Less freak out now. We're good. Goodish. I have some of this. Hi, kitten. Did you realize Mommy was on the floor? That's not long enough either. Might be good enough for a pacifier clip, but not for this. No. There we go. Keep those together for pacifier clips. Hi, baby. Someone decided to sprawl out on the floor. Okay. I need another stroller clip size. I need the pocket binding, adjustable strap, and handles. And I still have to figure out which vinyl I should use. I could go with an easy, like, standard white. Oops. I'm gonna put this away before I hurt myself. I don't have many pastels. I have, like, kind of a medium light purple. I have the same with a blue. I really should get up into my vinyls and take a look at these colors. Some of them are wound so that the color is on the inside, which makes sense, but plus I don't have good lighting. Let's see if I can change that. That looks like a maroon. That's a tan. That's a cream. That's a camel. Not literally. Ooh, it's a metallic. Another cream. That's magenta, and I think I have gray on the other side. I have a light gray. That's a beautiful vinyl. Oh, wait. Oh. I have this amazing vinyl that I got from on clearance from somebody or other that I don't remember off Etsy. That's not bad. I'm just partial to it because it wiggles and has fun. And I have some other vinyls that are... No, not you. Hi, kitty cat. It's a nice white. Light color. It's okay, Floston. You're all right. You're perfectly fine. That's a brown. Those are glitters, and I'm not going to use those. Tan. I should really take a picture and say, hey, which one do you want? That actually might make things easier for everyone involved. I got these mystery boxes of vinyl. I kind of like them. Well, it's not bad. Makes the bag a little darker. Definitely not this one. Not that. Not you. Though I really do need to find something to do with you. She might actually like this one. She's probably not going to know what she's looking at if I send her the picture and say, hey, which one do you want? At least make them all go the same way. I'm setting up the picture. Okay, here's this, here's this. Here's your pockets. There's a pocket. There. I'll put this here so I don't forget what that is. She's probably laughing at me if she's watching. Get the purple out. Oh, I think I might have a little sample of the purple so I don't have to pull over the whole bolt. There we go. And let's see, do I have a sample of the blue? I do. Life is better. Wonder how well this is going to photograph. I think I need to get on my stool so I can get it from above. Bad thing is I don't quite know her well enough to decide what she would like best. So let's take some pics. And of course, my shadow gets in the way. Maybe if I back up and then end up zooming in. Not that far. There, now I don't have my shadow in the way. Okay. I'll have to message her and ask her which one of these she likes best. Alright, I think that is a good place to take a break. I will be back later, hopefully after she's able to answer me, and I will cut out whatever vinyl I need. I will cut out the rest of the pieces. I will put silicone on the front pockets and start in on the bag. It's gonna be wicked awesome. Thanks so much for joining me. Let me see if I actually have my end screen. Nope, none of these are working, honey. I do have an end screen. There's an end screen. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you guys had a good time. I will be back on again later, like I said. Have a great night.